Have you ever felt like you cheated fate? Like a single moment changed everything, but not for the better? I did. I saved my life and my friends' lives that day. But what I didn't know was that death doesn't like to be cheated. It was supposed to be just another road trip. Me, my best friends, and a weekend of freedom. We were young, stupid, and convinced that nothing could touch us. There were 5 of us. Jake, the life of the party, always cracking jokes, always smiling. Tessa, the smart one, studying psychology, always reading people. Ryan, the jock, but not a jerk, protective, loyal, and the one with the van. Maddie, my childhood friend, quiet, with eyes that always hinted at secrets. And me, Alex, just a guy trying to figure out his place in the world. We piled into Ryan's old Chevy van, packed with snacks, sleeping bags, and a playlist of throwback hits. The plan was simple. A weekend at Lakewood Canyon, hiking, swimming, and maybe a few too many beers by the fire. What could go wrong? We were halfway down Route 79. The sun was blazing through the windshield, the van's engine humming steadily. The air smelled like dust and asphalt. Jake was making stupid jokes, and Ryan laughed as he steered the van down the winding road. Then it happened. A chill crept down my spine, the kind of chill that doesn't belong on a warm spring day. I glanced up. Ahead of us, a semi-truck barreled down the opposite lane. Its headlights flashed. The horn blared. My heart started pounding. I blinked, and the world changed. I saw it. The crash. Our van swerved to avoid the semi-truck. Tires screeched, metal twisted. The windshield exploded into a rain of glass. There were screams, pain, fire, blood. Jake's body pinned under wreckage, Tessa's wide, lifeless eyes staring up at nothing. Ryan's arms twisted at an impossible angle. Maddie's face frozen in horror. Then, silence. I gasped, my lungs burning. My eyes snapped open. We were still on Route 79, the sun still shining, the semi-truck still distant, its horn not yet blaring. It hadn't happened. Not yet. "Pull over!" I shouted. Ryan glanced at me in the rearview mirror. "What's your problem, man?" "Pull over! Now!" I screamed. Everyone turned to look at me, confused and annoyed. "Alex, are you okay?" Tessa asked, her voice careful. "There's going to be an accident. If we keep going, we're gonna crash." Ryan's jaw clenched. He didn't believe me. I could see it in his eyes. But then Maddie spoke up. Her voice was shaky. "Ryan, maybe just stop for a second." Ryan sighed. "Fine, whatever." He guided the van onto the shoulder, gravel crunching beneath the tires. The semi roared past us. Its horn blared, the sound echoing in my ears. A moment later, a sedan swerved into our lane, the spot where we would have been. It spun out of control, slammed into the guardrail, and crumpled like a soda can. Silence. Jake's face went pale. No way. That could have been us. No one said a word. We just stared at the wreckage. We were alive. I saved us. But deep down, something felt wrong, like I'd broken something I couldn't fix. We tried to shake it off, to pretend it was just a freak coincidence. We kept driving to Lakewood Canyon, but the laughter was forced. Conversations felt empty. That night, we sat around the campfire. The flames flickered, casting long shadows across our faces. "I still can't believe what happened," Maddie whispered, hugging her knees. Jake poked the fire with a stick. "Yeah, well, we're lucky. Let's just forget about it." But luck had nothing to do with it. The next morning, the sun rose, bright and warm. Birds chirped in the trees. Everything seemed normal, until it wasn't. We decided to hike up the canyon trail. The path was narrow, hugging the edge of a steep drop. Jake was ahead, his usual grin plastered on his face. "Careful, man," Ryan warned. Jake just laughed. "Relax, I got this." He took another step forward. The ground crumbled beneath his feet. His smile vanished. His arms flailed as he reached for something, anything, to hold on to. "Jake!" I lunged forward, but I was too late. He fell. His scream echoed through the canyon, cut short by a sickening crack. We scrambled down the trail, our hearts pounding, tears streaming down our faces. We found him at the bottom. His body was twisted. His eyes stared at nothing. Jake was gone. It wasn't just an accident. It felt planned, like death was making up for lost time. After Jake's funeral, everything changed. Tessa stopped talking. Ryan buried his fear under anger. Maddie clung to me, her eyes full of terror. Then it happened again. Tessa was found in her dorm room, electrocuted. Her desk lamp was on the floor, the cord frayed. A burn mark shaped like a lightning bolt on her palm. 2 friends. 2 deaths. We were running out of time. "It's death," Maddie whispered. "We were supposed to die in that crash. Now it's coming for us." Ryan's hands shook. There has to be a way to stop it. But deep down, I knew the truth. You can't stop death. You can only hope to outrun it. Ryan was next. A loose cable at a gas station snapped, whipping through the air like a snake. It struck him down in a heartbeat. Now it was just me and Maddie. We hid in an old cabin deep in the woods. We boarded up the windows, locked the doors, and waited. "Maybe it's not about surviving," Maddie said. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Maybe it's about facing it." I nodded. A cold wind blew through the cracks in the cabin. The shadows grew darker. Death was here, and it wasn't leaving empty-handed.